What's happening, Internet fam? I ran this video a couple of days ago going over the official tally from Governor Ige here in Hawaii regarding COVID deaths, who had died, how they had died, and what their condition was before they died, supposedly of COVID-19. But I didn't have all the data. There were a couple of cases that I didn't have the numbers for. I kept talking about 17 deaths, and then I had listed that 15 of them were over 65 and had severe health issues. Well, now I know who the other two deaths are and what the circumstances were in their deaths. So there were 17 deaths of COVID in the state of Hawaii, and 15 of them were over 65 years old and had severe health issues. Another one was a tourist from Washington State who was 55 and also had severe health issues. And the final death that I just found out about tonight, because a friend of mine actually knew this guy, was 50 years old. So he's a bit younger than the other ones, 50 years old, but he was severely obese, like really obese. So again, all 17 of the deaths here in Hawaii from COVID had existing severe health issues. So, that would only change this graph slightly. It would make this this little part here slightly higher. It should be more like this, and that would just really, that would really be the only difference in this graph here. So again, everybody who died of COVID in Hawaii was over 50, and all of them were severely unhealthy individuals. So, and again, whether they died of COVID or whether they died of some other issue isn't really clear. We're not really being given the data for the people who died in any kind of specificity. So that's important to know. It's very likely that they had heart disease, diabetes, stroke, Alzheimer's, pneumonia. We don't know. But it's clear that they had something besides COVID wrong with them. And in the one case that we didn't know, the individual who was 50 years old, I found out from a friend of his who actually knew him tonight that he was actually quite obese and quite unhealthy. Some of the other data that's wrong now too is the unemployment rate. We talked about the unemployment rate being 34% the other day when I first did this video. The unemployment rate is now 40% in Hawaii. So this lockdown is causing even more of a catastrophe for the economy here, making this chart also higher. It would be up here now instead of where it is, which if you read these studies here, which again, this study took place in the UK, so the numbers might be slightly different for Hawaii, but the study is showing that a certain level of unemployment causes more morbidity, especially among males, also among women, but especially most markedly among males. And so what we're looking at is probably a vast amount of deaths in Hawaii as a result of unemployment, not from COVID, but from unemployment, because right now the unemployment in Hawaii is 40%. And again, 1.4 million people in Hawaii, 17 have died. All of them with severe health issues. None of the 17 people who died of COVID in Hawaii were healthy at all. They were all unhealthy, in some cases extremely unhealthy, and almost all of them were elderly as well. A few of them, again, were in their 50s, but those two that were in their 50s were also unhealthy and obese. So I claimed before that there would be an increase because of the unemployment of 2,045 deaths. It's going to be much higher than that. I didn't redo the math. I didn't redo the spreadsheet. I didn't redo all of that. But we're looking at definitely more than 2,045 dead people now in Hawaii due to unemployment, not due to COVID. Because when the governor stopped the entire economy and made everybody stay at home and shut down all small family-owned businesses, that was a devastation for the economy here. also, I mean, we've ended all tourism here. Hawaii exists economically almost completely based on tourism. And so again, all these numbers are going to be higher now. I don't know. I haven't redone the math yet. Again, now that I know some of the more data that we have, but unemployment is higher. And we know that Anthony Fauci and Bill Gates, the World Health Organization, and the CDC were lying. They were lying. They told us some outrageous claims about how many people were going to die, and it was a lie. This is how many people under 70 who are healthy have died of COVID-19 in Hawaii. Zero people who are healthy have died of COVID. In fact, 0 people of any age who are healthy have died of COVID. I found out from people that knew the 2 last individuals that we didn't know about last week, that they were in fact very remarkably unhealthy. In the one case, the guy was extremely obese, and in the other case, he was also a heavier set guy who was also unhealthy. So once again, I'd like to point out that the amount of healthy people in Hawaii who have died of COVID is 0. 0 healthy people have died of COVID in Hawaii. And for that, the governor here has shut down the entire economy, made everybody stay home, and we're looking at probably upwards of 2,000, maybe 2,500 people who will die in Hawaii because of unemployment. And again, that's based on this study up here, which is on the NCBI, NLM, NIH, one of those government health websites. It's an extensive paper that I read the entire thing, but I'm not really an expert in that field, but I did do the numbers, and that's how I came up with the spreadsheet and ran these graphs. So again, I want to just point out that it's very clear to me that many more people are going to die of unemployment in Hawaii than of COVID. And again, I'm open to all challengers. If you can look at this data and derive a different conclusion, I would love to hear about it. But from where I'm sitting, it seems very clear that the unemployment situation is going to be much, much more drastic and lethal to Hawaiians than the COVID situation. And it's very clear to me also that the governor needs to do everything he can to lower unemployment immediately. Now, is unemployment going to stay at 40% for the whole year? I certainly hope not. Some of those numbers and estimates were based on the idea of it staying at 34% or whatever the crazy number that it shot up to immediately was going to be the whole year. But is it going to stay at 30%, 20%? What is the number? It's going to be a lot higher than 2.7%, and unemployment is super lethal, especially to males. So if you care about Hawaiians, and if you care about Hawaiian men, put people back to work now. Because nobody's dying of COVID except for the very elderly and the very sick.